We're with Rob Van Dam here. It's great to see you at the Cauliflower Alley Club. What brings you here this year?
What brings RVD here this year is the lovely Katie Forbes. Hi, baby.
Hey.
And she is a wrestler too. She wanted to check out the Cauliflower Alley Club. I've been here once before, a few years ago, with Fonzie, so I had an idea of what to expect. And it's cool. It's a good socializing event for the old school wrestlers, some of the fans, but a lot of it has to do with the boys giving each other awards, marking out on each other, I guess, whatever, at the banquet. And I love Vegas.
And what do you think about Nevada legalizing marijuana? Because there's definitely the scent of it in the air everywhere you go around here now.
Everywhere I go, everywhere I smell that. It's almost like a big cloud that just follows me. It's crazy. Yeah, Nevada is, they're a pretty progressive state. You know what I mean? Like this has been coming for a while. It wasn't like a huge surprise. It's awesome. It's labeled Sin City because it is a place where you can find whatever your vice is when you come here as a tourist from out of town, and they want to keep it that way. They want you to be able to get whatever you want so that you'll drop all your money gambling at the tables. I don't gamble. Hopefully that won't change, you know, but I just love everything about the city. There's so much to do, and there's so much energy all the time, you know, conventions and at nighttime there's a million things to do, daytime a bunch of stuff to do. So it's awesome that they've legalized cannabis recreationally, because you can show your ID if you're an adult and you don't need a med card, which is a loophole that it previously had, and they didn't have very many places to be able to buy it before. So super cool. The idea is they're hoping to add some tourism attraction, and I think it will. They gotta figure out where they're gonna let you smoke it though.
In Canada, it's becoming legal too. That's where we're from. What do you think about that?
Canada's been ahead of us the whole time. I mean, for years and years, with Vancouver, of course, and then in Toronto, but like Mark Emery, the Prince of Pot, he's been looking at facing an extra edition, but and I don't know I don't know if that's over or not, but he was sending seeds out of Canada, out of British Columbia, everywhere, and he wanted to overpopulate the world with pot so that they could never eradicate it. And I mean, it is. I don't think they're going to be able to get rid of it. And the more people realize how ridiculous it is to keep funding the efforts to get rid of weed when it can help so many people, and most of the negatives are complete bullshit, you know, and the more people know about that, the more we're going to see other states also being okay with it. They're everywhere. They've been lowering it, the penalties for it, city by city, state by state, everywhere, and it's outdated. I mean, since 1937, they've been telling people that it makes you crazy and violent, and it's still a Schedule I controlled substance, which means the most dangerous, the most harmful to the body and society, zero medicinal value, and it's still there, even though we all know now that it has medicinal benefits, and so many states have jumped on, and we're looking at almost half the states that have medicinal programs, but it takes more than that to actually mandate a federal change, which will happen before the number mandates it, because common sense just tells you that it is lies and BS, and it's bad. It's all for money. Everything's for money. But I mean, it's not just that they're lying and giving misinformation, and always have, to scare people away from weed, but also like they're letting people suffer and die because they'd rather try to make money on the pharmaceutical end of it, which is business. But on the morality issue, It never has been a fair fight. So, hey, what? So anyway, yes, I'm all for it. And by the way, Schedule 2 on the controlled substance list, meaning safer for you and higher in medicinal value. That's where you will find cocaine and meth. And that right there is ridiculous.
And alcohol is actually much more dangerous a drug than weed.
Yeah, which I used to just, I used to be against everything just because of that, because I felt I was in the fight so much. Now, I think alcohol, anything in moderation, whatever. I believe adults should have the right, to live life as an adult. But you're right. Statistics show you. Is that IVD? I know him. Statistically, besides car crashes, it straight up kills you. You drink so much alcohol that it will rot your liver. You'll die. Marijuana, it can't do that. It's not toxic enough.
And do you think WWE will take it off their banned substance list if enough states legalize it?
Only when the federal guidelines change. They won't do it when there's enough states. I think they're. I don't want to say how many states, but it's. I think we're like 2 states shy of half. But either way, because of their publicly traded, because they have the sponsors, because of their whole agenda of the audience they target with everything, they'll do it when the federal government says it's legal, and I don't expect them to do it before. By the way, when I wrestled there the first time around between 2001 and 2006 or 7 or whatever, they didn't test at that time for it. They started afterwards, after Eddie Guerrero died, which had like nothing to do with it, but that's what happened.
So where are you wrestling now? PCW, I've heard you're wrestling for them out in California. Anywhere else?
Yeah, but nowhere regularly. Like I wrestle, I pretty much do everything like as little as possible. I like being off and enjoying life. So most of my matches are overseas. In February, I was in England, and next thing I have for sure right now, we're both going to be going to Australia, and we did that last year. But that's the last 3 matches, or I'm sorry, last 3 years. I've had I think like less than 10 matches a year, and unless something happens to change that, then don't expect to see me in your town necessarily. Definitely not on a long tour, being out on the road, going town to town, because I ain't really all about that life no more.
And where can people follow you on social media?
The Real RVD everywhere. And are you the Real Katie Forbes? No.
Yep, I'm the Katie Forbes.
The Katie Forbes. Yeah.
How long have you two been together?
2 years. 2 years.
Yeah.
She wrestles for a while, and she's known from Wildcats Wrestling, and she does a bunch of different indie shows, some of them regularly. She's been in India, and she's on her way up, making a name for herself, and I've already been there, so it works out really well that we appreciate that about each other.
And last question here. Did you see any of the new Kickboxer movies, the remakes with Jean-Claude Van Damme and the new guy Alain Moussi?
I saw one of them. I don't know which one it was, but he did the famous dance at the end when they're rolling credits. So that's the one that I saw. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for talking to us, and we hope you enjoy your time here.
Okay, cool, man. Happy Cauliflower Alley Club.